r/AskReddit, what's a technological innovation that's actually worse than its predecessor? Chat support. Holy crap. Edit, especially the ones now AI enabled and you can't figure out if you're chatting with a bot just regurgitating what you see on the screen already, or if it's a human being giving minimum effort. The human is giving 200% effort, but it's not enough because they are handling 4 chats at once. Or maybe 5. Touchscreen controls in cars. So happy some manufacturers are doing away with them. I don't want to look away from the road just to change the heater or AC. Disposable plastics. Companies lied about how easy it is to recycle plastic. Spoiler, it's not. Now we eat and drink micro and nanoplastics all day every day with little knowledge of the consequences. Also that big plastic garbage patch. I was shocked to find out the guy who laid out the majority of the groundwork for the plastic bag actually was an environmentalist and thought people would constantly reuse them if they were durable enough. Instead people use them once and they last forever in the ocean or landfills. Inkjet printers. Late 80s inkjets were awesome. Now an all-in-one can't scan because the magenta ink is over 30 days old. What's their predecessor? The $1000 plus in $80s laser printer, or the see the dots, feel the perforation dot matrix ones? Every basic appliance or physical device that requires you to have an app and / or account to use. Original Netflix and then streaming services. The original Netflix innovated by making pretty all films available from a single source on demand as opposed to viewers needing to multiple sources to get the same selection, shops or video rental places like Blockbuster which didn't have a vast selection. When everything went to streaming services, you ended up needing subscriptions to several different streaming services to get the same selection, and there's still a few films you have to pay for on top of the subscription. Pretty much any kind of automated paper towel dispenser in a public restroom. See also, automatic faucets and auto flush crappers. Ugh yes. They never give you enough thin crappy paper, and there's usually a 10-second delay before it will allow you to wave your hand and get another short piece of paper. Half the time I also can't get the automatic faucet or soap dispenser to turn on unless my hand is at a really awkward angle either. Chatbots. If I'm going to get dehumanist and misunderstood, I want another human to do it. Video streaming but now with adverts. Amazing how the ads never have a problem with buffering. Physical menus to QR codes. Software as a service or subscription-based services in general. I get a text when my oven has finished preheating. I don't understand this BC if I'm using my oven, I'm at home and can hear the oven beeping. It would be super useful if I could turn the oven off using my phone, but this is not a feature. Just about any smart appliance. Somehow my Maytag has worked for 30 plus years without being smart. Tesla's ingenious idea to remove the stalks from their steering wheels. And it's not just a yeah you'll get used to it. In some cases, like switching on the turning indicator in roundabouts, it's now near impossible to get the task done. Pretty much every Tesla innovation is a terrible design. I've driven several, and I can honestly say it's only because I get paid to that I drive them. Would never waste my own money on one. I had to think a few minutes to determine what stocks were. Touchscreens in cars. No one has the fine motor control at speed for a fucking touchscreen. No one has mental capacity for menu navigation and concentrating on the road. Give me buttons. Exactly. How is it against the law, cause of course for safety issues, to use your smartphone while driving, yet cars touchscreen are accepted? Removing the headphone jack from phones. Also removing SD card slots from phones. If they at least gave people a replacement, like a second USB-C port. Nope, only removed it. Now you need an adapter, and can't charge your phone while listening to music, or you have to go out and buy new headphones. Both are terrible options. Fuck them. I'll keep looking for and buying phones with headphone jacks. They are a requirement for me, no phone without headphone jack, ever. Many of the new home appliances, they rarely last long nowadays. Subscription services for everything. Video game, you don't own it. Buy a movie on a service, you don't own it. Buy a John Deere tractor, see where I'm going here? What? We got this fancy new glass top stove. I had wanted one for years. I already miss my old stove. All the features really just mean more opportunities to malfunction, and I hate it. Touchscreen climate controls in cars. Who the hell thought knobs weren't a good idea? The fact cars have gotten bigger and bulkier has been a fucking disaster. You don't need a fucking bus to do your shopping. Somebody forgot about the land yachts of the 1960s and 70s. We just need another gas crisis and then the automakers will downsize again. The Mini Cooper evolution is a goddamn tragedy. Operating systems, Windows and Apple. It used to be the goal was to make computers more accessible. Now it seems like the goal is to make users dependent. It's the reason younger people can spend their whole lives on screen without understanding how the devices work. Also noticed performance-wise my computers are so overloaded with BS features that it slows down my simulations for work. There's Linux. If you don't need some specific software that is either obscure or its developers don't want it to work, it will work and the experience will probably be better. Phone backs made out of glass. Plastic and aluminium were perfect depending on what you wanted. Glass makes it heavier and more fragile for very little benefit. Original search engines versus any today. I remember back when you could pull up information instead of just ads. Amazon has the worst search engine I could imagine. It's like they hate their customers. Why wouldn't you allow classic search terms? Amazon is just full of bootleg Chinese crap anyway. It's also not always the cheapest for the legit stuff, either. My dad just bought a Miyako dehumidifier unit. Amazon were $45 more expensive than buying direct from Miyako themselves. You tell me why, because I don't know. Subscription services used to be a real good value, now they're pretty bad value. Microsoft Office isn't worth $70 a year to type. I'm glad they kept the buy once model though. The Russian T-14 Armata tank. At least the T-90 can drive for a day without breaking down. Most of the time at least. I outright cackled when I saw corruption had gutted the Russian military before the war even started. Partly because I called it years earlier. Armor pack stuffed with cardboard, egg crate for the win. Comrade T-14 does not break down, it was a demonstration of how a recovery vehicle operates when it's needed. Modern blade razors. Safety razors is so much better, even if you don't take price into consideration. Honestly, there are only upsides: cleaner shave, less waste, less cost, less skin irritation, more choice, no dependence on single brands for cartridges, and definitely coolness. Social media. Instead of bringing people closer, it divides us more. It does bring us closer. That's why you get in contact with more idiots than you ever could in real life. In terms of reliability, modern software as a whole. As someone who works in IT, it keeps me employed. Whenever websites/apps update their UI, it's usually worse. The Adobe Creative Cloud, I want to buy software once and then own it, not rent it in perpetuity. I have a smart thermostat that requires an app. Only one person can have the app. My ex has the app. You cannot program it on the wall display for more than short periods of like 6 to 8 at a time. There's no way to change the permanent settings. My last thermostat had no such nonsense. You 100% can reset it and connect it to your phone instead. Look up how to reset brand name here. Thermostat. Capacitive touch screens in public places. With resistive screens you could press with anything, capacitive requires a finger press or a special stylus. Gotta love touching this thing. Thousands of people touch today, especially at a pharmacy. New Outlook. My biggest issue with these new 365 apps is how the UI just blends into itself. I can't find anything. My old Outlook had obvious buttons that did obvious things when you hovered over or clicked on them. Can openers are terrible these days. Can't openers, as I like to call them. I haven't used it in a while, but Apple upgraded its podcast app and I couldn't stand using it because it wouldn't delete anything. The ribbon nonsense in MS Office applications after we spent 20-ish years knowing where everything was to be found on the file edit view, etc. menu system. Also, dishonorable mention goes to the change made to Outlook so that Control F would forward a message instead of bringing up the fine text filter like it does in any sane, rational, non-sabotaging/undermining software. This. Everything being a fucking rental. Just as bad, but worse, when you buy and own a physical product, but must pay a subscription for the software to make it usable. Smart fridges. I need my refrigerator to do two things: keep my frozen shit frozen, and keep my cold shit cold. I don't need a screen, I don't need a camera, and I sure as fuck don't need it to have software. Another example of just because you can doesn't mean you should. I saw a mildly infuriating post about a smart grill, and the poster being mad that it was downloading an update and wasn't functional on a grill type holiday, July 4th or something. The commentariat gave them hell for getting something so stupidly unnecessary. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again, Reddit glitch out.